Alright guys, we should be in for a good one tonight. Yet another matchup between the Lakers and Nuggets, and this one will determine the season series. Denver has won 2 out of 3 so far, kind of stealing the last one between them last week, losing nearly the entirety of the game but then coming back late to win, which should light a fire under the Lakers. And with them playing without Luka Doncic, along with about half the rotation in that game, they definitely will have more firepower tonight, and not only that, but it will have big implications on the season standings as well. Right now, the Lakers are currently 1 game back of Denver, and if they would win tonight, they would once again be tied for the 3rd seed, and that could go a long way in determining where they end up. And then apart from that, we do have injury updates. No, unfortunately no LeBron tonight, he has been ruled out, but he likely will play later this week or early next week, so watch out for that. And then unfortunately, also no Rui Hachimura, but we do have a return update on him and he likely will be back very soon, even according to himself. And then for one final topic, we will be talking about Christian Wood, former Laker Christian Wood, as according to himself, he has finally been cleared to return to basketball. So with that in mind, should he be brought back to the team? Could he be brought back to their team, or should they care about that at all? We'll talk about that, the injury updates, return updates, whatever you want to call it, and then the matchup between the Lakers and Denver Nuggets later tonight. But before we get too far into it, let's quickly go over our game day picks with Underdog Fantasy. And if you're a new sign up, you can pick Jason Tatum to have higher than 0.5 points later tonight. So yeah, take advantage of that free pick. But then for my picks, for pick number 1, I got a discounted Luka Doncic pick. Rather than having 3.5 3-point shots made, I got him making higher than 2.5 of them tonight. Apart from their last game, he made higher than 2.5 in 8 straight games, so I think he will again tonight. Then for my second pick, I got Austin Reeves having higher than 22.5 points. Once again a discounted pick, dropping it down from 26.5 points all the way down to 22.5. Then for my third and final pick, unfortunately I got Jamal Murray having higher than 14.5 points. Once again another discounted pick, dropping it down from 20.5 down to 14.5, and I think he will get higher than that, unfortunately. So if you want to follow along with me, or make your own picks, then be sure to check out Underdog Fantasy, and don't forget to use code JSM to get your free pick, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make a deposit. But now getting back to our topic, and beginning with the injury updates, specifically with Rui Hachimura. Yes, he has been ruled out tonight, but according to himself and the team, it might not be for much longer. According to the team, he has been playing 3-on-3. Reddit confirmed that before their game the other night, and with him back on the court, participating in contact, that likely means that he'll be back in a couple of days now, possibly for their game tomorrow night, and that definitely would be ideal for them too. And then according to Rui Hachimura himself, kind of a Twitter update, so don't read too deeply into it, but he did upload a picture with a loading screen on it, likely hinting at a return and a very near return for him, captioned Black Samurai, something that Laker fans often call him and kind of has adopted as his nickname and identity in the NBA, which is very cool in my opinion. But again, likely hinting at a return and hopefully tomorrow night, but at the bare minimum likely in the next few days for the team. And then for one final confirmation on that, according to Shams Charania, the Lakers are quote-unquote optimistic that Hachimura will return within a week. And with that being a couple of days ago, that likely trims that timeline down to 3 to 5 days here, hinting at a return this weekend or very early next week, which would obviously be a good thing for their team, and that does happen to be fairly likely. And well, they definitely could use Hachimura back, even with them playing well without him and LeBron for that fact. They could definitely use some more reinforcement, and especially within their front court. With Hachimura, they have the ability to run their bigger small ball lineup, Hachimura playing at the 5 for them, Finney-Smith playing at the 4, or Vanderbilt, or a combination of all 3 of them, and then pair him with a big guard like Luka Doncic and or LeBron when healthy, and that's a pretty versatile lineup for them on both ends of the court. And then between Hachimura and Luka Doncic had been showing some good chemistry prior to Rui getting hurt. In the 7 games they played together, Hachimura had been averaging about 15 points per game, knocking them down at a 50% clip from the field, albeit only 34% from 3, but was attempting a career high 5.9 of them per game. And for reference, this season he had been attempting a career high 4.1 per game, or on his entire career, only attempting 2.9 of them per game. So jumping all the way up to 5.9 per game really tells you about the gravity that Luka demands in the court, the attention that he grabs in the court, and how open he gets guys around him, much like Rui Hachimura. And again, although only 34% from beyond the arc, more likely than not, with more chemistry between them and more time playing on the court with them, that would likely jump up to Rui Hachimura's 41% or somewhere very close to it. And if that would eventually turn out to be the case, that would make their offense even more deadly. Following the addition of Luka Doncic, they have been attempting about 42 3-point shots per game, top 10 in the entire league, and knocking down about 15 of them per game, top 7 in the NBA. So between all of that, definitely could use Rui Hachimura back offensively for another catch and shoot guy for Luka, another shot creator on the court, and simply another versatile offensive player. And then for their defensive lineup, their small ball lineup, or even at Hachimura at the 4 or 3, depending on the matchup, that's another guy that they can really use defensively in multiple different ways. And again, no, unfortunately not back for their matchup tonight. Did a great job the last time he was healthy for their Denver Nuggets matchup. Hachimura had been the one to take on the Jokic matchup. No, not one-on-one, not guarding him directly, but a combination of him with shadow coverage behind him, or the occasional double team and or blitz. But putting Hachimura on Jokic, therefore allowing Jackson Hayes to stay near the rim, not getting drawn out to the perimeter on the Nikola Jokic-Jamal Murray pick and roll game, letting Hachimura do that, letting Hayes be near the rim, playing that shadow coverage, likely taking on the Aaron Gordon matchup and playing a little bit off of him, and that kind of working out well for them. But again, won't have that available. Despite it though, did show they have the ability to win and or compete against them last week, even without Luka Doncic and about half the rotation, so they should be good to go tonight. But then finally for one mention about Christian Wood, and it did happen to come directly from him, saying on Twitter, quote unquote, "Cleared to play basketball in a week. Finally, it's been a year, I'm just happy to be back." And with that getting about 2.1 million impressions, and yes, million, a majority of which were Laker fans and questioning about if they should have waived him for Alex Len, if they can bring him back, if that's a possibility, and if the Lakers should maybe think about doing that. Definitely a lot of questions here, some of which are purely speculation or simply kind of joking in that kind of manner. But there are some valid questions, and to answer the main one, are they allowed to bring him back? If you waive somebody, can you then sign them back? And yes, you actually can. Unless you're talking about a trade where you trade somebody, they get waived, then you cannot sign them back. But if you simply waive a player from your roster, you do have the ability to pick them back up. So yes, in theory, they could sign Christian Wood. They would have to waive somebody first. It would be kind of funny to waive Alex Len after waiving Christian Wood to sign Alex Len, but I guess they theoretically could do it. But in my opinion, I don't find it very likely. Not only about the waiving Alex Len part, but simply about signing Christian Wood. Not only is he not clear to play yet, only sometime early next week, but then he obviously is not in basketball shape. The guy literally has not played in about a year now at this point, over a year, and he's definitely got to work his way back on the court. Not only 5-on-5 drills, but simply working his way back into game shape. So we're likely looking at a month ramp up period here, which would take him into the early portion of the playoffs, and they simply can't wait that long in my opinion. I mean, they're not going to get much from Alex Len, but at least they do have a healthy, available body. Whether that's simply for fouling or whatever it might be depending on the matchup, they at least have that. And with Christian Wood, you have no idea when he might be ready, or if he even will work his way back at this point. Yes, he might be getting cleared, or according to himself anyways, he said false information in the past, so I guess you can't fully take that in here. But you never know about it, when he might be ready, and unfortunately, it's simply not a good bet and not a risk worth taking in my opinion. Yes, again, he might be better and more talented than Alex Len when healthy, but I simply don't think he'll get there this season, or at least not to the point where he could help their team. Now it might be something to factor in for the offseason. Maybe they sign him back on a veteran minimum prove-it deal again. He does know their team and does know their system, had played with Luka Doncic in the past, and theoretically might be a good fit as their backup and maybe behind Jackson Hayes or whatever it might be, maybe in the future, but definitely not right now in my opinion. But with that being said, what do you guys think? How do you feel about the Christian Wood situation? How do you feel about the Rui Hachimura updates and when they might get him back, LeBron back, and be a fully healthy team again? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one. And if you enjoyed the video, then I'll greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.